What's going on, my friends? Hope you're having a good day, and I hope you're having a good week as always. Merry Christmas to my Christian followers, to everybody else, happy holidays and happy winter. We're going to talk about the stimulus or omnibus package from hell. It's shockingly crazy how bad this is. All right, I'm going to launch up the Facebook and begin. Give me a thumbs up on YouTube if the mic is good. I have a different microphone. What's up, Facebook? I got the double stream going on. The story of the day is the omnibus or the spending bill. I don't know if they combined them or just put them out at the same time, but I have a list of like the 20 worst things from this spending bill. It's egregious. But the good news is I think the left wing and the right wing finally can agree on something, that our government hates us and this is terrible. So, in a time of craziness, I think that's the silver lining, is everybody pretty much knows that the government hates us, and maybe we can go on from here. But I got a list of all the worst things. I got Burma, Cambodia, Nepal. We got some gender studies in Pakistan. We got some gender studies in India. I got the list of probably the worst stuff, and you can add to it. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about how bad it is. We'll see if President Trump decides to veto the bill or sign it. I think he's probably going to sign it. And then we're going to talk about strategies for 2021, because this is just unsustainable. They've shut the whole country down, paid themselves off, and now they're trying to spend billions of dollars on some of the most outlandishly ridiculous stuff I've ever seen in my life, and shut us down. They have no plan to open. They have no strategy, only more funding to things like Gavi, which is a international vaccine alliance, which will mass testing, all these things that are, the more money they get, the more incentive they have to do this type of stuff. So in order to fight it, we have to come to grips with it. If you fund big pharma and big tech just makes a killing, Bezos crushing it, Zuckerberg crushing it, they have no incentive to stop. They've censored, they've seen no consequences, and it's going to have to come from we the people. So God bless you guys. We'll get into it in a second. I'll do some shout outs. And I want to say something before I start. If you guys see at the top of Facebook and at the top of YouTube, I have a Cameo. I don't even promote it anymore, but I know if you're anything like me, I'm always late on my Christmas gifts. So if you want to give somebody a personalized shout out from me, check it out. It's cameo.com/dreamrare. If somebody in the family likes me or wants a personal Christmas message, you can click that. And it's a good way to get a unique gift if you're running late. If you don't like to shop without a mask like me, it could save you. So maybe not. It's not a force, but if you want to be saved and you don't have a good gift idea, and that's a good gift, cameo.com/dreamrare. I'll get them all done. If you do it by the 24th, I'll get them all done before Christmas if you're running late. So that's my pitch to you guys. Cameo.com/dreamrare. You can get a very late gift, and I'll work hard on the 24th and try to get them all out for you guys. So if you're running late, I don't ruin your Christmas. Let's see. Donna, what's going on? Oh, it's all good. It's part of the situation. Let's see. We got Samantha said everything is closed in California. I hear you. So said, you're next, bro. They're gonna X you. Whatever. Try me. Bring it on. I'm ready. What's up, Rachel? God bless. Merry Christmas. Blue Jazz, San Clemente in the house. SoCal. Ginger Snap says 30 million went to Walmart. Yeah, I didn't even see that one. So someone said America's over unless we do something. The good news is I feel like it's going to settle in, and I've been upset, and we're going to keep it calm. Keep it calm, folks. We don't want upset anomaly yelling at people on my live stream, so we're going to keep it calm today. But I've seen this, going over the last couple of months, and I think people are finally coming to grips with the fact that both parties hate us. McConnell, Pelosi, even Trump, he's didn't drain the swamp. The swamp just keeps getting paid. I mean, maybe the deep state is deeper than he thought. You could have any theory under the sun. I'm not here. You love them, you hate them. We're not going to get into it too much today. But the point is, the government hates us. No one seems to be doing enough. And they just constantly spend on the most ridiculous stuff. Thank you for the super chat, Holly S. And it's just crazy to think, before I begin, they think they deserve tax money this year. Listen, I pay taxes like a good American. This year, they want to take my money. Are you kidding me? What did I get in return this year? I got travel bans. I got quarantines. I got treated like a prisoner and a slave. Everywhere I go, people act like I have the virus, even though I'm healthy. I've never had it. I'm fine. I have a good immune system. Get out of here. Get out of the Apple store. Don't stand here. Don't stand here. That's what I got this year. I got treated like a prisoner. by the government and they think they deserve my tax money, and this is where it goes. And fundamentally, this is why they never learn, folks. No matter how much they mess up, no matter how much they enslave us, no matter how much they overspend, no matter how much they pay themselves off and give it to their special interest groups or their friends' little research group, they give them $50 million to study something, even though they're complete fools. They never learn because they just keep getting the money. For me, it's the opposite. The better I do, the less money I make. It's like I do better and better and better. Facebook cuts me out. It's like I get penalized for being good, and they get rewarded for being bad. So it's like we live in opposite worlds. It's like if I did crappy reporting, I could probably make $10 million and be a puppet and sell out the human race on CNN or Fox News. But because I don't, but them, they just waste, and just keep getting more money. They're like, oh, $1 billion? Ho, 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 ho. The jig is up, folks. The human race is aware. Let's get into it. So this is the Omnibus spending bill that they shut us down for, what is it, 200 days to slow the spread, folks. I don't even remember anymore. My year's blurring. I look at old pictures and old videos and I reminisce like I'm 80 years old. I'm like, man, those were the good old days when I could actually breathe in public and not get harassed. Oh, that's when I went on a cruise in January before they enslaved humanity. It's like, it's a sad sight, folks. It's like I'm reminiscing like I'm a kid again of when I used to be free. So 200 days to slow the spread. They've ruined America. I mean, they're tanking us in so many ways. They've killed hundreds of thousands of small businesses, hundreds of thousands of restaurants, I think millions of small businesses. The devastation they've done, millions of people have lost their dream job. I don't have to tell you what happened this year. I think everybody kind of gets the gist. And they gave us $600. So the first stimulus bill, if you guys remember, stimulus package, it's another name for socialism, communism. So if McConnell does it, communism, socialism. Trump, people are like, there's never going to be a socialist nation. It's too late, bro. And there's still Republicans tweeting this. We're never going to be a socialist nation. You think it's like 2019 and you're at a TPUSA event. It's 2020. We're full-blown past socialism. And these people don't even realize they're still just spitting out catchphrases as if it's not happening. It's outlandish. I'm like, what planet are you living on? But anyway, it's not a stimulus. When you close down your business, you don't have an option to open and they just throw you money. So the first time they had 15 days to slow the spread. We're sorry, here's $1,200. Still a bad deal. Still one of the biggest wealth exploitation transfer bills in modern history. But $1,200 not bad for a month of shutdown. It's not great. Still a scam, but okay. And then they did what was it? 8 months for $600? I don't know, folks. I'm not a math genius here, but $1,200 for 1 month. We're losing money and losing time. They're just killing us and then giving us less money. And they think that's somehow acceptable. But what makes it worse is what a lot of people are probably aware of. I'm just going to go through some of the most ridiculous stuff. It's where they give the money. So they only have $600 to give to us, but here's what they're spending it on. $135 million to Burma. I'm a pretty traveled guy. Now, I mean, I don't travel that much, but I research and read a lot. I'm not even quite sure where Burma is, but they have $135 million. That's nice. I'm sure the restaurants who lost all their money are happy to hear that. $85.5 million to Cambodia. That's nice. I'm sure, God bless Cambodia, God bless Burma. But when we're being enslaved by our own government, I think the priority should be opening up for shop, not doling our money out to foreign countries. No disrespect to foreign countries. I think foreign countries would love if we left them alone. I don't know. Talk to Afghanistan, Yemen. I think they just want to be left alone. I don't think they want America's money. Bill Gates running over with the vaccines. He's like, hey, kids, I got the new oral polio vaccine. And then you look in Associated Press and it says, this is a real headline, folks. I don't want to misquote it, but something along the lines of, most polio cases found in wild in Africa are from the vaccine, not the virus. That's not me. That's not a theory. That's not anti-vaxxer. That's reality. That's Associated Press, Reuters. They're all reporting on it. More people have polio from the oral vaccine than from wild. I'm sure that's shocking, but I'm sure they just want to be left alone. Maybe not. Maybe they want Bill Gates running around with the kids and stuff in Africa. I don't know. I wouldn't want my kids. God bless Africa. We got a lot of African followers here. $135 million to Burma, $600 for you. $85.5 million to Cambodia, $600 to you. $1.4 billion to Asia Reassurance Initiative, $600 to you. $130 million to Nepal, $3 billion for the Afghanistan war, $700 million to Sudan, $1.3 billion to Egypt, around $4 billion to Gavi Vaccine Alliance, which is Bill Gates, $500 million to Israel. It wouldn't be an American year unless Israel's getting billions of dollars, folks. It's not. If both parties aren't just doling money to Israel, it's not America. I mean, what's America if you're not just forking your money over to Israel? But in general, I'm going to read an article. It's from Yahoo. It says Bill Gates helped get $3.36 billion into the coronavirus deal for, let me see what it says. Bill Gates helped get $3.36 billion into the coronavirus deal to help vaccinate the world's poor. What a nice guy. I mean, who's nicer than Bill Gates, folks? I mean, he could just be sitting on his money. You know, he doesn't have to be funding billions of dollars of vaccine companies. He doesn't have to be paying off most media for good press or whatever he does it for. He doesn't have to do this, folks. He could have sat on his Microsoft money, but Bill Gates is such a nice guy. He's getting the government to give you $600 while he gives around $4 billion to, you know, poor countries that I'm sure just dying for this vaccine. Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Bill Gates. Keep going. And this isn't new. Trump turned into a vaccine salesman. I know people are going to get mad at me for saying this, but after the election, I gave him leeway. I'm like, listen, after the election, he's going to pull some 5-dimensional chess move. He's going to finally be free. He doesn't have to play the fence to win the moms for the election. He just got worse after the election. I'm like, am I following Donald J. Trump, the leader of the free world, or am I following Bill Gates? Because he tweets about the Moderna vaccine, which Bill Gates has backed since 2016. He tweets about it more than Bill Gates does. He's like a vaccine salesman, a full-blown vaccine salesman. He went from holistic, you know, skeptical guy who thought that vaccines might be injuring people to just full-blown salesman. Let's get it fast. I'm the fastest. Nobody does it faster than me. I'm the Ricky Bobby of rushing vaccines through safety trials and pressuring the FDA. Wow. Somebody needs to tell Trump it's not a good time to go fast. He's like, have you ever seen anybody faster? It's like, no, but that's not a good thing. And you're going to be the fall guy. Trump's going to be the fall guy. Anything that happens wrong with this, he's owned it. But whatever. They have a climate security advisory council. That's great. So the more these climate groups and the more these COVID groups, they get paid, they get their testing, they get their vaccine money. Do they have any incentive to stop? They have no incentive to stop. Someone said, this is the first video I've seen on Facebook, shadow banning. Yeah, no question. I'm being they told me it's not even a secret. It's not a shadow ban. It's just a full-blown ban. They said anomaly, you know, we don't like your reporting. They've cut my revenue, so I can't make money on Facebook live streams or ad revenue. They've cut my reach. I was getting 8 million views a week. I mean, I get it. I understand, you know, before we move on, I understand why they want to do it. They're embarrassed, you know. It's like I have no funding, no big donors, no big media company behind me, no team. If you saw, I'm set up in my friend's kitchen right now. I just have all my stuff by myself. They have full-blown teams. They get NPR. I'm going to talk about it. They're getting all this funding. They have all this money, and they can't beat me. I get it. You know, they're sad, pathetic people. So they saw on Facebook, like, how's this kid getting 8 million views? We're getting millions of dollars from the stimulus bill. We have all these like loser people sitting in the White House asking Trump questions. And, you know, we got all the money. We got all the power. But nobody likes us. It's a sad world. So what they have to do is cut me down, you know? They destroy every building in town, and they're like, look, I have the biggest building. It's like, yeah, because you bombed every other building. Congratulations. Yeah, oh, wow. You're on a 2-story building. You got the biggest building in town because you had to cut everybody else out. That's what they're doing. I actually feel bad for them. It's like, you know, they got to cut me down from like 8 million views a week to 1 million views or whatever. It's fine. I get it. Like, maybe if I sucked like you, I'd feel that way too. I don't know. It's not mutual because I actually work hard and I try to tell the truth. If I was a full-blown liar demon, maybe that would be my strategy too. So pray for these people because they have ugly souls. Some of them have ugly faces, but that's just a side story. Anyway, fully shadow banned on Facebook. Yeah, but they still can't stop me. I'm still destroying them. It's fine. Instead of 100,000 shares, I get 10,000 shares. Then my Twitter blows up. Then my YouTube blows up. Then I got my Patreon blowing. It's fine. We just move. They slither like a snake. I do crossovers like Jordan. It's fine. We're not the same. $10 million for gender studies in Pakistan. It's really important, guys. I mean, if you're not studying gender in Pakistan instead of giving your people money when you're enslaving them, what are you doing? I mean, would this be America if that wasn't happening? $10 million for gender studies in Pakistan. I'm actually not even mad today because we can unite. I have a big viral tweet going. I think it's got like 30,000 likes or something, 7,000 shares now. It's like left wing, right wing. We can agree. We can agree on this. The government hates us, okay? The problem is the left wing is like mad at the wall. They're mad at security. The right wing's mad at gender studies. We totally live in different worlds, but we finally can shake hands and be like, the government hates us. The Republican Party hates us. The Democratic Party hates us for different reasons. We're confused why, but let's just enjoy the win. They hate us. They're like making up new ways to just give away money. They're like, they're spinning a wheel. Gender studies in Pakistan. Leave the Muslim world alone. Even Republicans can't leave them alone. It's like, no offense, but you have like Turning Point USA. They're like, we need to go to Pakistan and make them gayer. They need to be gayer because, or Palestine and Pakistan. Can you believe how they treat gay people? It's not my country. Just leave them alone. Okay. If you want to go on a mission by yourself, Charlie Kirk can fly over to Palestine and try to save the gay people as they jump off buildings or something, catch them or something. If he wants to do that, God bless him. Film it, put it on YouTube. He'll be a hero. But the fact that they just won't leave the Muslim world alone, it's like, who wants to be like America? No offense. It's like you have like child drag queen shows. You can't even handle your own community. You have like disgusting, like pro-pedophile movies. And even like libertarians are like, this is why, 8-year-olds dressing like sluts is not a bad idea. It's like, what? That's really creepy. It's like, anyway, just leave the Muslim world alone. Okay. I don't think they need your gender studies classes and Charlie Kirk trying to, make homosexuality more legalized over there. And I'm no disrespect. Listen, do what you got to do. I'm just saying, let's focus on our own problems. I have no problem with Burma, Cambodia, Palestine, Israel, Japan, whatever. Just let's focus on our stuff. Let's just stop acting like everyone wants to be America. Oh, let's bring our culture there. It's like, let's not do that, because I have a lot of Muslim followers. They're actually more conservative, not the American ones. They brainwashed them and made them liberal, like a lot of churches as well. But let's just leave them alone, okay? They can figure out their problems. We can figure out our problems. But I don't think they want, what is it, Desmond, 10-year-old drag queens? I don't think they need that. So, and I don't think they need gender studies. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe they need to study gender, and we're just really helping. Let's see what else they got. $453 million to Ukraine. The media is so evil. Ukraine. They lied the whole time. They were covering for Joe Biden. Joe Biden had that everything that they said Trump did, it was Joe Biden and Hillary. So they say, Ukraine. Oh my God, they're working with Ukraine. They're working with Ukraine. The Republicans and the Democrats are working with Ukraine because they're funneling money to Ukraine instead of paying their own people. They're enslaving their own people, destroying restaurants, and then funneling money to Ukraine. When you're looking, are you Russian? Anomaly, are you working with Russia? No, I've never even been to Russia. You're working with Russia because you did the Uranium One deal. You're working with Ukraine because you're giving my tax money. You steal my money and then you give it to Ukraine. So you're looking for the culprit. It's like Scooby-Doo, pull off the mask. It's our federal government, once again, working with Ukraine. $33 million to Venezuela. I heard they even had some sort of thing where they were saying Belarus is illegitimate. Do you guys know why they hate Belarus? I saw Rick Grinnell tweet, the Belarus president's a bad guy, whatever. We support the protests here. It's a regime change, folks. Do you know why they hate Belarus? It's the only country I know of, or one of the only countries in Europe, that said no to the COVID shutdown. If you look at the Belarus leader, he says, drink vodka, go in the sauna, stop being a PUS, stop being a whatever. He's like, just stop. He didn't want to do the COVID shutdown. So the reason he's enemy number one from our wicked government is because he didn't want to shut down his country. So anybody that doesn't enslave their own people, just like anybody who doesn't go along with the central bankers or with the, United States, Israel foreign policy agenda, they have to just try to delegitimize them and overthrow them. So that's what they're doing in Belarus. Don't believe a Republican when they tell you, oh, Belarus is so bad. Don't believe a liberal. Do they have strong leaders? Sometimes it takes a strong leader. It's not our country. We have our own problems. We have our own failed election. Let's focus on our country. They hate Belarus because he didn't shut down, and you're not going to hear this anywhere else. Look up Belarus COVID. He said, go in the sauna, play hockey. You're fine. We're not shutting down. That's why they hate Belarus, folks. They want to enslave humanity. All right. $208 million to upgrade the Census Bureau's computer systems. Thank God, they need new computers, folks. But you don't need $1,000. You need $600. The Commission on the Social Status of Black Men and Boys. I'll tell you what, if you're black and you're liberal or you're conservative or you're apolitical and you watch this channel, if the government ever comes to your house and says, hey, we're with the Commission of Social Status on the social status of black men and black boys, they're not coming to help you, folks. Okay, I don't care what your political thing is. So the fact they're spending money on that, I can guarantee you black men and black boys are not going to benefit from that. Maybe a few. $750 million for fossil energy research and development, $222 million for the update to IRS business systems. They need a better business so they can steal your money, folks. If the IRS doesn't have good computers, how are they going to rob you blind next year after they just enslaved you? It's like, hey, knock, knock. Do you have $10,000 for us? $20,000, $5,000, $2,000? Do you have our money? Because we need money because we just treated you like a prisoner that last year. We deserve nothing, but we're going to take it. So we need better computers. $25 million for cleaning supplies for the Capitol building. Really what they need to go is fully unemployed because these are wicked people. $25 million. What kind of, was it, gold Windex bottle? Windex bottle from someone tell young Pharaoh they got his gold sandals and they have a gold Windex bottle. That's what they need. That's why it's so expensive. 10 million to subvert India. I mean, I'm sorry, 10 million for gender study in India. My bad. I misread it. Millions of dollars. I think over 100 million to Palestine, to Israel, Palestine. They're going to get along with our money. I guess Israel doesn't have enough money. Yeah. Okay. That's anti-Semitic to think they have enough money. So they need our money to get along with Palestinians, because nothing says, Israel, Palestine peace like just robbing our country blind to employ their people while we're unemployed. 200 million for Safe Schools Emergency Response to Violence Program. That's almost definitely anti-Second Amendment. You could bet your bottom dollar on that. 300 million to public broadcasting NPR. Wow. That's good because NPR is not even remotely bipartisan at all. I mean, they're so full-blown left. If you're like a normal moderate libertarian with some liberal views, they think you're Adolf Hitler resurrected. That's how left-wing they are. They don't have a single right-wing idea at the entire place. They use it against our people. And it's funny. This is why they had to censor me on Facebook. I actually laugh at it. They're getting $300 million, but they still can't beat me. When you saw the top 10 list on Facebook, they said top 10 most shared links. It's like Anomaly, Ben Shapiro, Fox News. You guys have $200 million. I have no money. I mean, I have money saved, but I don't have a single dollar that I get from ad revenue. I get no government funding. I get no donor funding. I get it all through Patreon and ad revenue. And you still can't beat me, losers. And you still need more money. Look, how much money does it take to beat Anomaly? Sorry, you can't buy this, losers. It's like they have billions of dollars. That's why they hate me. They're like, we spend so much money, but no one likes us. It's because you guys are disgusting. How pathetic do you have to be? Just hire somebody likable. They hire like these disgusting news reporters. Like, Donald Trump killed everybody with coronavirus. Losers. $500 million to museums and libraries. I'm sure that's going to go straight to books and stuff. Now, these people just suck up money. They pay off their friends. They say, oh, I'm the supervisor. Well, I'm the vice president. Well, I'm the vice president. Well, I'm the assistant. Well, I'm this person. Well, I'm that person. They just suck up all the money. And by the time it actually goes towards the museum or anything else, there's like 1%, 2%. That's all they do. You ever work at one of these companies? Bunch of losers, bunch of egos, bunch of just egomaniacs trying to stab each other in the back for an extra $10,000 a year. Oh, I'm the big person. I run the department. Yeah, that just means you do less. You make everyone else do the work. And then you go to the meeting to the vice president and say, look what I did. And it's like, yeah, no, I did that, but you stole it from me. It's fine. Take the credit. Get more money. By the time the money actually gets to what they're doing, they don't get any money. They just suck up 99% of all this money. They're like, I'm the chief of foreign relations. Well, I'm the vice co-chief of the foreign relations study on the Council of Black Men and Black Boys. Well, I'm the diversity trainer. I come here and I say, it smells too white here. I think it needs to be more diverse. You fired. You hired. Okay, my job's done. Content of character doesn't matter. It's like you get 6 figures just to racially discriminate. These people. Someone said, guess it's time to buy a firearm. Yeah. So let's see. I'm going to go to Trump's Twitter. This is what Trump says today. I think people are finally getting it. I'm not going to say I'm the earliest because some people were earlier than me. But all year I've been complaining about Trump because during the shutdown, he's not really been doing that much. Here's what he tweets out. Today, no mention of this stimulus bill. He says distribution of both vaccines is going very smoothly. Amazing how many people are being vaccinated, record numbers. Our country, indeed, and the world will soon see the great miracle of the Trump administration has accomplished. They said it couldn't be done. One of the funniest things I've seen this year was Owen Benjamin made a video a couple weeks ago, and he said Trump is Zoolander. And now I can't unsee it. Every time it's like, he's like, I'm the best. I'm the fastest. I rush the vaccines faster than anybody else. Nobody's faster than me. It's like, you don't want to be the fast vaccine guy, bro. That's not a good thing. It's like he thinks he's like the best and the brightest. He's like, nobody's faster than me with the vaccines. I'm super fast. I mean, the Trump administration will be recognized forever as the fastest vaccine guy. It's like, yeah, and your legacy is ruined. Everything you did in the last 3 years is shattered because you're an idiot this year. You've turned into a vaccine salesman and a lockdown fanatic where you're like, oh, if we would have went the route of Sweden, millions of people would have died. It's like, first of all, that's not true. Second of all, freedom is better than slavery. He's like, well, slavery is better when I do it because I enslave people better than anybody. I have the fastest vaccines. It's like, bro, who are you? Who are you? I don't know who you are anymore. He's Mr. Vaccine. And he's going to sign the bill probably. Last year, I did a video on it in December. If you guys remember, if you were here, if not, welcome. It was on the Omnibus bill. So 2 years ago, Trump signed this horrible Omnibus bill, and there's a video of him, and he said, I'll never sign another bill like this again. I'll never do it. And then he did it. And last year's Omnibus bill sucked just as much as this one does. It raised the smoking age. I'm not a smoker. I don't think kids should smoke, but why are we always losing our freedoms? Trump says he won't sign it. He signed it. It made anti-Second Amendment studies and all this funding, abortion, all this stuff that Trump stands against. He funded it and then sold it. He's like, I'm building the wall. It's like, bro, you just signed more of our freedoms away in $1 billion crappy bill. That's just a slush fund. He did it last year too. And he like tried to sell it off like he was helping the military. Yeah, they got funding, I'm sure, but it's a disaster. So we'll see what happens. But I think the good news is the government, well, not the good news that this is it, but it's the government hates us, folks. They will wring us dry until people wake up. And we're not going to live in the past, but all year they've been just destroying the country, and everybody has been waiting for the election, for Trump to do something, for Republicans to do something, and they're not doing anything. They have no plans. And I'm not saying this to be mean. They're like, Anomaly, you ruined my hope. It's not hopeful to make up a fake theory and dupe holistic moms into thinking when Trump says vaccine, he secretly means super secret military Space Force plan. No, Operation Warp Speed is a way to make people think that selling vaccines is like a secret operation. Anyway, the point I'm getting to is they have a plan to enslave you next year. You can't fight Bill Gates by funding Bill Gates. You can't stop communism by starting communism. You can't say America's never going to be a socialist nation and then make America a socialist nation. That's not how you stop socialism. You can't fight medical tyranny by funding medical tyranny. You can't fight the liberal media by funding NPR. You can't say, oh, big tech's bad on Twitter and then do nothing about it. They're all getting their way. So the only way this is going to stop is when people say enough's enough. And I think people have thought enough is enough today. And once Trump signs this bill, if he does, and he doesn't veto it, it should be obvious that he's not going to do anything. Even if he pulls off a win at this point, the pros are going to be lower taxes, better federal judges and Supreme Court people. Besides that, I don't know what else he's really going to do. Maybe there's going to be a few big wins, but when his losses are communism and socialism and shutdowns, every win he had in the past, no one cares about anymore. It's like, well, Trump gave a lot of money to HBCUs. That's a good talking point to try to get black votes, but this is making a whole new generation of liberal black men who hate Trump. It's like if you go to these HBCUs, you think there's a lot of Trump supporters there. He's just funneling monies to schools who hate him, who are going to tell people to vote Democrat. So it's like that compared to like shutting down the country and bankrupting 100,000 businesses and then funneling money to Sudan. That loss is 1,000 times bigger than the win. Every win he's got has gotten wiped away. And instead of fighting for his legacy is now, I'm the vaccine guy. It's a disaster. But in general, I'm going to read some comments. The good news is I think everybody realizes it now. I think people realize there is no plan. Trump's not going to save you. Mitch McConnell's certainly not going to save you. Nancy Pelosi probably can't even eat her ice cream properly because her face is so messed up from the plastic surgery that it looks like, you ever play, no disrespect, but you ever play, Mario Party? There's this one game, it's called Bowser Facelift, where you just pull the face and you try to make it looks like Nancy Pelosi. So she's not going to save you. People need to realize this, because there needs to be mass civil disobedience in some form. This is not sustainable. They're just raping the country, metaphorically, and throwing you $600 after they just bankrupted you. And they're not going to stop. And I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. Anomaly, Trump's rushing the vaccine so we can be free. That's not how you get free. You don't give up your freedom for 8 months and then allow them to make the false premise, oh, we could steal everything from you as long as we give you a vaccine. You should have said no from the beginning. My constitution's not like a bargaining chip where you can enslave me and then throw me a product I don't even want that you're going to force on me. Well, he doesn't want to make it mandatory. Who cares? Oh, what do you know? Now there's a new strain. Oh, there's a new strain available. Oh, no, Fauci says the vaccine works so well that you need to get it but still wear a mask. And I mean, it's so good that you need to get it every couple times. And they're never going to stop, folks, until people stop them. But the liberty movement in this country has been blinded, I think, by Trump. I think they're like, I like him so much, I'm just going to live action role play and pretend like Bill Barr's Batman. Slavery is more tolerable if you get a group of people together and say, imagine if Bill Barr was Batman. Imagine if all this was a super secret plan. Imagine if Trump's bankrupting millions of small businesses purposely as a way to arrest John Podesta. Imagine if Bill Barr could fly and he just flies into my house and gives me stimulus money and then arrests Ellen. Hillary didn't get locked up. We got locked up. It's time to stop live action role playing. Bill Barr is not going to wipe your butt. It's time to wake up, folks. Save our country. Danny Flower said in Massachusetts, it's not legal to buy menthol cigarettes and it's not illegal to have intercourse with a dead person. Ew. Government's disgusting. Daniel Hayes said they're making dollars on worthless purpose commodities such as food and energy with actual currency. Klaus Schwab is taking control of the food. Oh, for sure. They're trying to. This is a global communist push. They want control of food, transportation, media, banking. They already have banking. They already mostly have media. Trump is not helping. He's like Derek Zoolander, like Owen said. He's like Derek Zoolander, just selling vaccines. Like someone needs to tap him on the shoulder. People are like, ooh, Anomaly, you don't understand. He's playing 5-dimensional chess. 5-dimensional chess is not bankrupting 100,000 restaurants. 5-dimensional chess is not funding Bill Gates to fight Bill Gates. 5-dimensional chess is not selling Moderna like a snake oil salesman. He's not playing 5-dimensional chess. He's just acting like Derek Zoolander, Mr. Fast Vaccine. Nobody's faster. He's the fastest. He's the Ricky Bobby of vaccines. He's Usain Bolt. Nobody sells a vaccine faster than Trump. He's the vaccine guy. He's ruining his legacy. He needs to hear, and I'll say it because I really don't care. I like him. I voted for him. If he doesn't turn this around and he ends his legacy being a vaccine salesman, he's a worse president than Bush and Obama. He gave away more civil liberties. He infringed on the Second Amendment more. He infringed on the First Amendment more. Big tech spiraled out of control. He became a vaccine salesman and he shut the country down. This is more socialist than Obama. I'm not saying it's all Trump's fault. I'm not saying Obama wouldn't do this if he was here. I'm sure he would, just like Justin Trudeau. But Trump's legacy sucks right now. People are like, oh, you're Abe Lincoln. He's like, oh, I'm Abe Lincoln. I sell vaccines. I'm Abe Lincoln. No, you suck. Your legacy's ruined. You're like the worst president in modern history if you don't turn this around. We all waited for a super secret plan, and your super secret plan was to rush a vaccine through safety trials and sell it to the people like it's gold. So he should feel like he needs to actually do something, as opposed to like everybody's patting him on the back. They're like, good job, Trump. Way to shut our country down. And they're like, ooh, Anomaly. Trump didn't shut the country down. It's the governors. No, he did. He passed the emergency order. He's funding all the CARES Acts. He's not going to veto this bill. We'll see if he does, but probably not. He's laying the financial incentive. He's doing absolutely nothing to stop it. He's not. It's like a circus. He's like, I got rigged. I got cheated. Everyone's like, ooh, I got cheated. You're just running in circles. It's like a carousel. Yeah, he probably got cheated, but did he do anything about it? No. He's just going to cry about it and sell vaccines, and nobody's going to pay attention to the latter. Someone said if the lockdown worked the first time, then why are we having another? If the lockdown didn't work the first time, then why are we having another? Because they're trying to kill us. That's why. The science is clear. The science doesn't make sense if you're trying to figure out what they're doing. They're trying to kill us. They're trying to kill our restaurants. They're trying to control the food. They're trying to control us. They're trying to enslave us. They are enslaving us. That's what's happening. It's easy. It's simple. Why did the lockdown didn't work? It did work. They bankrupted hundreds of thousands of restaurants. That's what they wanted to do. They enslaved humanity. That's what they wanted to do. They exchanged wealth so they can give it to their friends, and all the big tech and big pharma got paid out. It worked for big pharma. It worked for big tech. It's fine for politicians. They don't suffer. So that's the lockdowns don't work. Mask mandates don't work. They only work when you realize that they're trying to kill you. They're killing America. And Trump is beyond complicit. Beyond complicit. He fought it, hydroxychloroquine, and then he caved to big pharma. He head faked us 3 times. Yeah, no, they probably told him, bro, you got to shut up with the hydroxychloroquine. It's cheap. How are you going to sell hydroxychloroquine when you're spending billions of dollars on vaccines? So he shut up about it, sold remdesivir, a Gilead Science drug, big pharma. Regeneron, big pharma, got a lot of government money. When he sold that, he was just a salesman for it. And now the vaccine, he's a big pharma salesman. He got out of the hospital, said Regeneron. Look up Regeneron. They got hundreds of millions of dollars, I believe, from Operation Warp Speed, or the federal government. Anomaly, I feel like the controllers are going to let Trump win. That's why he's pushing the vax. It's a Faustian deal. I can never trust him again. Well, that's the issue that I'm trying to wake people up to. I don't even care about the election that much because Joe Biden's a nightmare. But Joe Biden's a nightmare that everybody knows is a nightmare. I don't think there's a single right winger that's like, ooh, Joe Biden's really going to be better. No, he's going to be worse. Joe Biden sucks. Taxes are going to go up. He's a cardboard box. He's not even he doesn't even talk. He's like literally one of the dumbest people I've ever seen. But at least everyone knows that. With Trump, why wouldn't they want him to win again? He's the perfect Trojan horse. No one's going to fight back. Everyone's going to make up theories that he's helping them. No one does the critical stuff. And they say, Anomaly, you changed. Look at my reporting. I reported on this in 2019. I said, this bill's anti-First Amendment. This Omnibus is anti-Second Amendment. I said this in 2019. People just didn't want to hear it. And at the time, although it was terrible, it was small fries compared to the lockdown. Once the lockdown happened, that's something that's too big to ignore. I didn't ignore the other stuff, but it's like, I get it. Government's corrupt. He's doing this. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. People don't want to hear it. Then the lockdown happens. It's like, this is my line in the sand. I already had a line in the sand, but it's like, this is really bad. This makes the last omnibus bill look like nothing. So they just keep incrementally getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and nobody stops them because Trump is there. So whether he's there or not, it doesn't matter. The messaging should be enough is enough. And that's the problem with, I think, the march on Washington in January. People are like, are you going to go? Why would I march for Trump? If I'm going to go march, I'm going to march against Trump and the whole government. I'm going to say, Trump, if you win, God bless you, but you're just as bad as Mitch McConnell. He needs to feel the pressure. Trump, in my opinion, is more movable. Trump is more of a populist. He actually listens. I mean, some people you could say he doesn't, but he's way more open than Biden is. So are you going to tell him he did a good job? Why would he stop? He thinks he's Abe Lincoln right now. They're like, Trump, Operation Warp Speed's a huge success. He thinks he's Abraham Lincoln. Why would he stop? You need to tell him you're not Abraham Lincoln. You blew it, and you have a month to make it right. He needs to feel the heat because this is unacceptable. What they're doing to the country, even if they ended it tomorrow, it's devastating. I said this in April. It's like, even with 15 days to slow the spread, what they did in 15 days with that wealth transfer bill was one of the most costly bills in modern history. They've done it for 9 months. Folks, we can't afford another day of you pretending like Trump is QAnon and he's got a super secret plan for Bill Barr to come down from the sky and wipe your butt. We can't afford that anymore, folks. It's a lie. It's a psyop. It's like, how do we get libertarians, Trump supporters, and gun owners to just sit there and be like, ooh, when Trump secretly funds Bill Gates, he's secretly fighting Bill Gates. The only way to fight Bill Gates is to fund Bill Gates. You have to fund Bill Gates to. My friend made a joke earlier. He said, Trump's giving him money. He's adding zeros to his bank account. If he gets enough zeros in his bank account will explode like Y2K. It's like, these are the type of theories they're making up. They're like, the only way to beat Bill Gates is to give him so much money he can't handle it and he can't see past the money. It's like, no, that's not what's happening. Only in your head is that a way to stop Bill Gates. Like, the only way to fight Bill Gates is to fund Bill Gates. If he has too much money, he might get scared and stop funding all of it. It's like, no, that's not at all how it works. All right. Someone said you have dumb friends. No. All right. Let's see. Someone said everyone's in the stage of a bad breakup. He still has time. I don't know about this election, but he's got a month. There's things he could do, folks. Like, people think he really fought hard for us this year. He did good the first 3 years, I think, but this year he did terrible. And now he's ending it as like a vaccine salesman. This is terrible. He's awful. He needs to know that and stop. He needs to have a big win before he leaves. Someone said, anomaly, I've been calling police chiefs, sheriffs, and politicians. Please, everyone put the pressure on and we can turn this around. The district attorney in my area has declared he will not prosecute any COVID-related fines. Awesome, Tim. God bless you. And yeah, I'm starting to see more businesses rebel against it. And, that's what it's going to take. Enough people standing up on every level. Brett Smith said the staggered lockdowns are to separate people again so we lose the antibodies that we built up from coming into contact with small amounts of the virus. It's an operation to reset the immunity. It's bad in a lot of ways, but no, I agree. If you have a kid, I met one time, someone had a holistic kid. They were super vegan and stuff. Their kid never played and never ate anything bad. And then someone threw an egg at him and it like blew his face up or her. I can't remember if it was a kid, a boy or girl, but like they were telling me their kid, they had a huge allergic reaction because they've never touched anything. Like, that's why you play in the mud. You don't want to get sick. But at the same time, you do want to have resistance. Your body is like a built-in miracle worker. Your body's amazing. Some even said, to quote the late John Mayer, your body is a wonderland. And I believe that. So it's like, Bill Gates and Trump are trying to put synthetic mRNA in you. I have my own mRNA, Chief. Thanks, Trump, Mr. Vaccine. I don't need your mRNA. I don't want your Moderna RNA, where, Bill Gates says, ooh, yeah, it might hurt a little bit. Yeah, everybody has side effects, but it's okay. I have my own. My body's a wonderland, and I know that because John Mayer told me, and he looked in the camera, and he said, your body is a wonderland, and I think he was talking to me. I'm not gay, but I was like, thanks, John. It was weirdly complimentary. I was like, I don't like guys saying that to me, but when John Mayer says it via song, you feel like he's talking to you. I'm like, you're right. My mRNA is good enough. I don't need his. When he said that, I was like, you're right. My immune system is beautiful. Thank you, John Mayer. How did you know? He knows because we all have good immune systems. Our body is a wonderland. And, now we're waiting on the world to change. Another John Mayer song. I'm just saying. Everything you need to do right now is in a John Mayer song. And I'm not even a John Mayer fan, but it's like waiting for the world to change. Body is, it all makes sense. That's the code you guys have been missing in the Q movement. It's like you're looking for the code. It's right there. Just leave my body alone. All right, read some comments. What can we do to fight the tyranny? It's a good question. I mean, there's only so much everyone can do, but yeah, I guess not complying in any form, running your business if you have one. And we need more people to wake up. And I think this was it. I think this was it. Enjoy your Christmas, enjoy your winter. We'll think of ways that we could really do it, but it's tough when you can't force somebody's hand. All you can do is focus on yourself, what you can do. But you can't stress out about it because you could cry and scream and yell. But if someone wants to be a mask fanatic and not listen to you, they're not going to listen. So someone said, how about they stop bioterrorism? Yeah, they don't want to do that. Thank you guys on Facebook and YouTube too. I want to say I'm going to read some comments, but I have a Cameo. It's in my bio, cameo.com/dreamrare. If you don't have a Christmas gift, it's a very good late Christmas gift. It's unique. I'll say something. I don't know. You write something and I say it, but don't say something stupid because I'm not going to say stupid. I'll cancel it if you try to frame me. But in general, it's a unique Christmas gift. And if you're anything like me, I never know what to get people and I'm always late. So if you get it to me before the 24th, I will get it done by Christmas, so you're not late with your gift. Hydro said, Merry Christmas. I love you, dude. Merry Christmas, everyone in your family. Thank you so much. God bless you. Someone said, Anomaly, thank you for being the truth and calling out anyone's BS, just like Mr. Knight joined forces. Yeah, I know he got fired by Alex Jones, but yeah, David Knight was killing it. I mean, he was doing really good coronavirus reporting for sure. We'll see. I've never really talked to him, but let's see. Someone said, don't get the cooties shot. I have antibodies. Someone said, that's the Libra in you, Anomaly, just like me. I am a Libra. Someone says, started a Facebook group called Entrepreneurs for Freedom support group. We'll move to Discord soon. Anyone feel free to join so we can come together. All right. The Raw Truth said Entrepreneurs for Freedom. She's got a group. Check it out. Let's see. Have I ever thought about doing stand-up? Yeah, I have. I mean, I have. I think I would be good at stand-up. I'm juggling too many things. But for now, this is my stand-up. Welcome to my show. There's 1,600 people on YouTube, 2,100 people on Facebook. That's kind of crazy. If you think about 3,900 people just in a room, that's what we're doing. But you're in my room. It's easier than stand-up. In stand-up, you actually have to travel and do all this stuff. I'm just sitting in my friend's living room, and I'm doing a show in front of 4,000 people. Pretty amazing. You know, let's be grateful for. Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg. You censored me, but not enough. I'm still doing bigger numbers than most people. Maybe I'd have 5,000 people if you didn't censor me. That's fine. But in general, I'm very grateful for social media until they kick me off. It's crazy stuff. Have I met JP, Awaken with JP? I think I haven't, but I feel like we'd get along pretty well. Someone said, you're in our room? Whoa, that's true. I'm in your room. That's creepy. I could see everything you're doing. You shouldn't be doing that right now. Put that down. No, I'm just kidding. Isn't that creepy? Would I go on Tim Pool's podcast? Yeah, definitely. I would definitely go on. I just have to time it right. Shannon said, Trump's an actor. I saw him at his rally and something was off about him. Like he was reading a script. I brushed it off. Turns out it was right. SMH. It's interesting because now that you say that, I don't know if I mentioned it here, but that was the one thing at the rally. Like I loved it because I was like, he head faked me so many times. And even with the anti-lockdown stuff, I was thinking, I'm like, okay, if he gets into office, then he can, we'll see what he does. And in general, it's like he's better than Joe Biden, but yeah, something about it did seem way more acted up live. But the Nigel Farage speech got to me. Nigel Farage was selling. He was like, "Yo, he's the freest leader." I thought he would maybe kick it into gear. He almost did so many times with RFK Jr. It's like I don't think Trump was a setup from the start. Like I think he made certain choices. Like he wouldn't if he wasn't. He didn't have to meet with Robert Kennedy Jr. about vaccines. He truly believed that. So it's like Trump almost did the right thing 30 times. He almost did it and then didn't do it. Even this year with the hydroxychloroquine, that's an anti-big pharma move. But then he bowed down. It was so many head fakes. It's nuts. So it said, you and Brian at High Impact might have been seen on one side or the other. If those conversations are important, keeps everyone honest. We as a country are headed downhill despite killing for less in the past. Yeah, I had a good time with the conversation. It didn't go as planned, but I enjoy a good debate, a good challenge. It's a good time to me. Let me see. I'm going to read another super chat. It says, Merry Christmas. Politicians give money to these countries and hire private contractors like Biden's brother and friends. They get the money from that honeypot of America's money. Absolutely. It all goes in circles. Someone said, just dropped a remix of the song called Mass Off. I'd love to see you on the remix. Keith said, you could email me, but I'm having trouble. All right, I'm gonna get to some Facebook stuff. Someone said Trump's a clone. LOL. I don't know if he's a clone, but I don't know. Biden acts very cloney to me. I'm not saying he's a clone, but I don't know. He doesn't act like a human. Someone said Trump told us he was a snake and people cheered. I just want Trump to know he's got at least a month left. Who knows what he could pull off with the whole Senate hearing or whatever they're doing with Pence and the confirmation, but he can make things right, or he could try to make things right. But selling the vaccine is not cool. He's got to stop. He's got to stop doing that. Thoughts on the situation in Oregon? Do you think it was bad optics like some claim or not really? I didn't see it. I didn't fully get into it. I know they stormed the Capitol building, but optics at this point, I don't really think matters. I mean, I can't say everything they did, so I don't want to co-sign something I'm like unaware of if they did something I don't agree with. But there needs to be mass civil disobedience, I think, and these politicians, like, they're getting away with beyond murder what they're doing. So anybody that's standing up and trying to formulate a way to fight back, I don't know. What they've done this year is, in my opinion, in some ways slightly less worse, obviously, than war or genocide. But in many ways, I said the other time, with war, say World War II, America sent their strong men off to war, and the women and children and other men who didn't get drafted stayed home. Here, they've brought the war to America. They're psychologically abusing the kids. And this is where I really get annoyed with Trump as well. He talks all this trash about China, but he doesn't do anything. So, for example, he says, China, China, China. He's egging China on. He's poking China. But then when you go on a plane in all 50 states, they force you to wear a cloth mask. And if you don't have one, they give you one from China. So if China really is trying to kill us, Trump's trying to get us killed. How else? Like, we get all these products from China. We get all these pharmaceutical products from China. There was a report that said that multiple companies that Trump is promoting right now, they had CCP Chinese spies in those companies, in the pharmacy companies. So Trump is trying to get us killed. It's like, if you're going to fight China, then fight China. If you're just going to talk shit, meanwhile force us to wear a Chinese mask, you're not our guy. It's like he's trying to set us up for the slaughter. If you have a move to make the move. But poking them, saying, oh, they did this, it's the China virus, it's the China virus. Well, then why are we wearing Chinese masks on our face? They're forcing us to wear Chinese masks on our face in all 50 states. And he's not doing a damn thing about it. He's not doing a damn thing about it. So he better hope they're not trying to kill us, because if they are, he's setting us up. We're still importing mass Chinese products. We're still wearing, millions of people every day wear a Chinese mask on their face. What is this, folks? What's the 3D plan? There is none. He's just failing. Someone said, now you hate Trump. How come? I'm so confused at what you're doing. I don't hate Trump. I'm just telling the truth. This year was a nightmare. He said America would never be a socialist nation. It's a socialist nation now. It went full-blown communist for a few months. He's not doing anything. I'm just telling the truth. He says he's fighting China while he does nothing about the mask mandate. He does nothing about the big pharma takeover. He's funding it. He's signing off on all the things they're doing. Mass testing, mass vaccines. The more they get paid, the more they do it. He's paying them and bragging about it. So it's like, I don't hate him. People like him more than they like the country and reality. So they're letting their people down. You're allowing socialism and communism and tyranny and acting like he's not involved. He is. That's just the truth. So what would I do differently, Anomaly? I mean, if I wanted to kill the country, I'd do exactly what Trump does. What a perfect way to kill America. If I wanted to not do it, after the 15 days to slow the spread, he should have opened up. He said he was going to. His instincts are good, or at least he pretends like they're good. He wanted to open up the country. He shut it down. He sided with Fauci over Robert F. Kennedy years ago. He was going to do a vaccine safety council with Robert F. Kennedy because he thought that vaccines might be causing problems. And he decided to side with Fauci and Eli Lilly executives and a Pfizer executive. He put Alex Azar as the head of HHS, and he decided to go that route. So he chose big pharma over vaccine safety years ago. I mean, if I wanted to let the country get taken over by big pharma, I would have done what he did. But if I wanted to not do that, I would have done the opposite. So only in your head is he making all these moves for you this year. He's signing off on all this stuff. CARES Act signed off on it. Vaccine signed off on it. Moderna funding. Pfizer funding. Mass testing. Ventilators. When Cuomo, Murphy, and Newsom were going full authoritarian, Trump was not telling them not to. He was telling them to do it. You guys might not remember. Maybe you distorted history to make yourself feel better. But in April, I remember very well, he was giving the thumbs up to Cuomo and Newsom and Murphy. He said, that's fine. And then he said, oh, they like me. Oh, they get along with me. And then he pressured Kemp for opening up. When Kemp tried to open the country, open his state before all the other ones, Trump was more mad at them than he was at Murphy and Cuomo. He was more mad at freedom than he was at communism. Trump is a total failure this year. He's not Abe Lincoln. He might as well be China. And he needs to hear that because it's 8 months. We gave him 8 months. I voted for him. Yeah, Biden sucks. You have a soul. Here's the keys to the castle. The election's over, or he doesn't need your vote anymore. What's he doing? Selling vaccines. Selling Bill Gates' company as if it's this great thing. And he knows. This is why it's sick. He knows. He had a meeting with RFK. He knows that something's going on, and he's rushing it faster. He's deceiving the American people. He's going to hurt a lot of people, and he's going to get blamed for it. And this time, for maybe the first time, he'll rightfully get blamed because he's done nothing this year to help us. Very little. So do I hate Trump all of a sudden? No, I'm just telling the truth. When he signed the crappy Omnibus bill last year, I said it. When he signed away First Amendment last year, I said it. I report on it. It's just people don't want to hear it. And overall, some things I can forgive, even though it's BS. We're always losing freedom. What can I really do about it? Am I going to cry every day of my life? No, I'll report it. I'll tell you the truth. If you want to hear it, you listen. If you don't, you don't. And then I move on. But I can't move on from a lockdown and normally talk about something else. Talk about something else besides the fact that I'm being treated like a slave and we have our guy in office and we have a Republican Senate. No, this is the big story, folks, until we go back to normal, which they have no plan for. So we have to be the plan. That's the main thing. Shelly said, you are literally the only one saying this stuff that has a platform. There's a lot of us that agree with you. Oh, I appreciate it. And if anybody followed, I got a lot of people in, March through October, because I was trying to do the reporting that wasn't being done. I don't need a pat on the back. I don't need an invite to CPAC. I don't need attention. I'm trying to get the message out to the people of what's going on. So there's very few people that did anything this year. So I'm not surprised they're not saying it now, because in March and April and May, when the country needed real reporters and real influencers, these people are doing nothing. But it's fine. That's just how the world works. Someone said, Anomaly, you sound a lot like Brian now. The whole reason Brian wanted to debate me, and God bless Brian, the whole reason he wanted to debate me is because I was calling out Trump even in April. I said all this stuff already. Me and Brian agree on a lot. He just tried to attack me and say, I'm a moral superior to you. If you don't vote, we're going to save the world. If you vote, you're a bad person. So he decided to railroad the conversation or debate and make it 2 hours about trying to convince people that he was a moral superior to me and that not voting was the answer, when everyone knows it's not really going to do anything. Whether you vote or not vote, they're still going to do this crap anyway. So we have to do something bigger than voting or not voting. That I agree. I sounded like Brian 8 months ago. It's not like he changed my life. He wanted to have a convo about it, and I agree with like 95% of what he says. It wasn't my fault really that conversation got derailed. So I've been saying this for a while. It's just we didn't get to have that conversation because he didn't want to at the time. I'm sure now he probably would. I should debate Vaush. Maybe. I don't know. He's a little creeper, but maybe. Someone said you said voting mattered. Well, I stick by what I said. It's not enough. Here's the difference. It's not enough. It's clearly not enough. McConnell, the Senate, it's not doing the trick. As far as governors, and even as far as Trump, if you want to be honest, I'm disgusted by what he's doing. He's steamrolling the country towards communism. It's not enough. Something needs to change. But if you make over $200,000 a year, there is going to be a difference between Trump and Biden. Is it enough where it's great? No, but as far as federal judges, certain rulings, certain tax laws, certain things, there is going to be a difference. If Biden, instead of building a wall, removes the wall and then does, a climate council and gives more of your money away, that matters. So I never disagreed with them saying voting was everything. But to me, I just don't agree with the libertarian of like, oh, there's no difference at all. It's a way too small of a difference. And I think conservatives think it's like this big difference when it's not. But, there is little differences. Like there is a difference if you live in South Dakota right now than California. There is a difference in Florida if you live in California. Is it enough? In my opinion, no. I think it's a joke. But to say that doesn't exist, in my opinion, is just not accurate. That was the whole 2 hour debate. Do I agree with Nick Fuentes? We're different people, so I mean, I say what I mean, and he says what he means. So you could see the overlap just watching my channel and his channel. But I think honestly, I defended him when Turning Point and Shapiro attacked him because he has something to add to the conversation. He's trying to draw a line in the sand. He's trying to fight immigration and have a conversation. And I really don't like those other Republicans who try to censor him because they're hypocrites, in my opinion. You know, they say, ooh, all the left wing does is try to do cancel culture, but they try to do cancel culture. If you talk to Farrakhan, they cancel you. If you talk to Fuentes, they cancel you. So it's like, this is why the Republican Party is not the free speech party, because it's filled with hypocrites like Charlie and Ben who say we're pro free speech, but then someone like Nick Fuentes comes around and all of a sudden they want to say you're racist, you're anti-Semitic. Those words are just words to make you act like you have the moral superiority when you're not smart enough or honest enough to dive deep into why things are the way they are. So yeah, I mean, we have a lot of overlap. We're different people, but I prefer him to those other conservatives. I think they're very fake and very hypocritical. They don't stand up for the First Amendment. They love giving away foreign aid. They flip flop on immigration with whatever's convenient. And a lot of them are just cheerleaders. You know, socialism's fine when they do it. I don't like their brand of conservatism. They're nice people. I'm sure we can get along in an event, but this stuff's unsustainable. I don't have time anymore to sugarcoat things. You know, this is unacceptable. Let me see. Someone said Rockefeller, Soros, etc. are ultimately the ones behind this. There's a lot of big players. Soros is a huge player. The Rockefeller Foundation, huge player. World Economic Forum, huge player. Yeah, no question. I'm going to read this. Someone said, Anomaly, go to DC and express your feelings or you're a coward. Why am I a coward unless I go to DC to express my feelings? Like me standing with a megaphone in DC, like what's that going to do? I go to protests. I go to local protests. I do what I can. If I go to DC, it doesn't make me necessarily super brave. Like if I want to go to DC, I'll go to DC. If I don't, I don't. I don't think it makes me cowardly or brave either way, just showing up at DC. Oh, I disagree with you guys. It's like, you think I'm afraid to say this stuff? Because every time I go to a conservative event, I went to a young Republican event 2 weeks ago. No one has a problem with me. No one cares. No one's afraid of what I say. A lot of people agree. More people than you believe would agree with it. It's just that the top ilk at the Republican Party is not doing it. Nazareth said there's a saying Republicans are progressives driving at a speed limit. No question. Absolutely. Someone said, who has money to travel to DC? Well, the reason I don't want to go to DC is because I think it's a pro Trump event where they're trying to say the election was stolen. We love Trump. He's doing a great job. Where I don't agree with that. I think the election was BS. But I don't think Trump needs positive reinforcement right now, personally. Someone said, boo Lakers. Yeah, I agree. I got this. I was in a box seat last year and they gave this to me for free. So it's a free jersey. I'm not really a Lakers fan, to be honest. Thank you, Pancakes and Syrup. Someone said, hey, Anomaly, look up the definition of ominous and tell the public. Well, ominous and omnibus are two different words. So the bill is called an omnibus bill, but ominous means like, I know what it means off the top of my head. Ominous means like a gloomy future. Like if something is ominous, it's like looming. It's like an evil that's looming. You know, I'm interested to see the actual definition because that's what I think of ominous, like evil that's looming in the distance. Let's see. Ominous definition. Let's see. It said, given the expression that something bad or unpleasant is going to happen, threatening, inauspicious. Pretty good. But omnibus, ominous, different words, but very similar. Am I still rapping, Anomaly? Yeah, I have a new song coming out with Trapped in the next month or so. I have my own song probably coming out, but I like the news reporting. I mean, I like music too, but when I'm inspired to make a song, I do it. When I have a show, I've done a few big shows. I did Sturgis this year with Trapped. I performed at a few protests, but I'll have some new stuff coming out. Let's see. Thank you, Lori. Someone said, hi, Key America was taken over by WWE, and it's been a great show. It does feel like that, doesn't it? All right, I'll read a few more, and I'll keep this one somewhat short, under an hour and a half, I think. I think that's better for people who watch it later. But I almost wasn't going to go live because I have other stuff to do, and I was going to take somewhat of a break. But this omnibus bill, or this stimulus bill, I couldn't help myself. I was like, this is just nuts. The Raw Truth Super Chat said, I know you were talking about Bayer the other day. I want to point out how they bought out Monsanto a few years ago, and now the food that is poisoning us. Gates has done a lot for Monsanto as well. Yeah, I know Bayer and Monsanto merged. Absolutely. That's a frightening merger. And with the GMO stuff too, you know, one of their angles is also ownership. Like, obviously, the more you genetically modify food, you know, it's questionable as far as how much nutrients they have, and also the way we farm. If you talk to people who know what's going on, the nutrients in, you know, food 100 years ago was a lot more pure, I believe, than it is now. So one of the main things besides Monsanto, it's not only genetically modifying in the sense of, you know, what are the components of it, how nutritious is it? It's also ownership. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe if you have corn, you can't own corn. You can't have a, patent on corn, but if you do it genetically modified, you can own the patent. It's the same thing with viruses as well. Like, there's certain SARS viruses that have patents on them. That's why people got confused with this one or started saying stuff, because there are viruses that have patents. If it's a genetically modified or altered virus, just like if it's genetically altered food, you can patent it and just own it. So that's a huge scheme that they're doing, is massive food ownership and also medicine and such. Someone said corn is GMO. Well, nowadays it is, yeah, and it's owned. Someone said GMO is not a good thing. I'm not saying it is. I mean, there's a debate that a lot of people have, but I'm not one of them. Bill Nye says it's good. Listen to Bill Nye, the Democratic Party spy guy. He says it's really good. He says, I'm Bill Nye, and I'm going to tell you why it's really good for you. Jorge, what's up? Jorge said illegal streaming is now a felony. What? Yeah, there's some weird clause in there as well with the illegal streaming. I didn't talk about it because I'm confused by what it means, but they're trying to make it more illegal to do some sort of illegal streaming. It's just, yeah, it's hard to tell what that's going to affect and what it's not. Someone said Bill Nye, the engineering guy. Yeah. Someone said Kristi Noem, I really like her after hearing her speak. She's doing a way better job than most governors with the coronavirus stuff, for sure. She's doing very good. Someone said Trader Joe's and Chipotle's food is non-GMO. Good to know. All right, we'll answer a few more questions. I just want to repeat again real quick. I have, if you guys want to support on Patreon or stuff, I have that, but I'm good. If you don't have a Christmas gift and you want to get a Christmas gift for somebody and you're running late and you don't know what to get them and they like me, if they don't, then it's not a good gift, because then they're going to be like, why the hell would you give me this? But if they do, it can be a crafty, nifty gift sometimes. Cameo.com/dreamrare. And I will personalize a message to whoever as like a card or an extra gift or something. And if you do it before the 24th on Christmas, I can't really, I'll do it, but I might not happen on Christmas. If you get it before the 24th, I'll get it done. I'll get them all done for you. All right, let's see. I have family member, Valley Girl says, I have family members who had 2 COVID tests, both cost $190. First one said negative, next one said positive. Her sister's in the military lab. She said, take it again because it's only 80% accurate. Yeah, I don't know what type of test, but if you listen to Carrie Mullins of the PCR test, he's the creator of the PCR test. He said it was never meant to be used for this, and he didn't like Fauci at all. So this whole year is a total joke. I mean, there's so many angles. There's so many angles that you can kind of fight the narrative this year, but you don't see a lot of media doing that, and you don't see the president really doing that much. He did a little bit, but not enough to really make a dent. Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate you. Someone said Elon Musk tested 4 times in one day, 2 positive and 2 negative. Elon has been very good with this stuff. He's been very good. I mean, I don't know his intentions or why, but can't lie. He's done a great job exposing the horrible counting schemes. And that's what I've said since April is in order to end this, you have to understand what they're doing and counter it. Trump has not really done that. He's semi-countered it and then funded them and supported it. It's mass testing. It's the way they're counting. They're counting cases and deaths so widespread that it's impossible for this ever to go away. I think I said this in March, even March. It's like if you counted the common cold the same way they're counting this, mass testing, anytime somebody has a cough and you don't know, like they're being so loose with it, it's impossible to keep these numbers down. So I think it's a real virus, but we've never had this much testing. We've never had this much funding. We've never had this much financial incentive for doing so. The more this happens, the more it's going to keep happening. And there's no timeline on it. So there has to be a line drawn in the sand, which says 100% open, 100% full capacity. Lockdowns don't work. They kill businesses, people, joy. Mask mandates kill smiles. They kill human interaction. And as far as blocking droplets, they do a little bit if you sneeze. As far as blocking air particles, they don't do it at all. As far as, being dirty and taking it on and off, there's just as much con as there's pro. So that's why every health expert from Fauci to all these left-wing news blogs, they all said in March, don't wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Vox, they all said it. Fauci said it, they all said it. It's more of a con than a pro. It doesn't really work. It's only temporary for hospitals and this and that. And then they just decided to switch the narrative and everyone just bought into it. Masks are disgusting. It's like a form of, in my opinion, enslavement. Yes, it has some pros, but also no, it doesn't block the coronavirus particle. And also if it's, especially with kids, and some adults are disgusting too, but like kids play a lot. So if they're taking it on and off, playing and stuff, you're forcing them to put a dirty mask unless you replace it all the time. And they're going to fiddle with it. That's even what Fauci said. If you fiddle with it and your hands are dirty and then you're putting it on a cloth in front of your face, it's worse than it is good. I'm kind of a germaphobe and I think they're disgusting. I feel disgusting when I wear it. I know I'm not an idiot, so I understand how unless you can keep it 100% clean, and most of them are made in China. If we're really at this pseudo war with China and Trump's talking all this crap about China, why doesn't he end the mask mandate? He's setting us up for slaughter. It's a total joke. Masks are gross. I agree. They look gross. They feel gross. There's just as many, if not more, cons than pros, and they're going to censor people for saying that. Let's see. A few more, and then we'll take off. Thank you guys so much for being here. If I don't see you before Christmas, Merry Christmas. I don't take that many breaks. I'm going to try to take a break and work on some stuff, my book and other things that I've been putting to the side. I couldn't help myself with this Omnibus bill, but appreciate you guys for this year. And we'll make some moves in the new year. We'll keep it strong. We'll figure out what to do. 2 things, sign up to my free email list, stayintouchwithme.com. You could just type it in, stayintouchwithme.com after this. It's good to have emails. I barely use my email list. Least annoying email list you'll ever be on. I will hopefully send one out this month, but I like to collect emails. God forbid something happens, or when something happens, I can email en masse and tell you guys what's going on. So thank you. We got over 100,000 people signed up for that. I would love 1 million, but we'll see if we can get there. Someone said states, Peter, you got to stop doing this, bro. He said states mandate the mask, not Trump. He's the president. He's not doing anything about it. Do states mandate the mask? Absolutely. But so do airlines. Florida has a mask mandate in airlines. Florida has a mask mandate in Democrat areas. South Dakota, you'll get pulled off a plane with a mask mandate. Trump is not doing anything about it. He's not even challenging it. So I think you guys need to lose Trump out of the White House, because if people are this brainwashed, like he's doing nothing. He's selling vaccines. He's not fighting against it at all. He's funding all these people. He's completely bowed down to the mask mandate, doesn't even challenge it anymore, has no plan to take him out of airlines, has no plan to. Corporations dominate Trump. Democrats dominate Trump. He's a big pharma puppet right now. How come a Democrat mayor in a red state can do whatever they want, but a red mayor in a Democrat state can't do anything? Because the Republicans are WWE. They're just there to lose and be vaccine salesmen. So It's like you can't handle Donald Trump. It's not even that hard to have him as president, but with him as president, you make excuses for socialism, communism, mask mandates. Then what good is he? If he can't do anything, he doesn't need to be there. What's he doing? Just holding the line for Joe Biden, communism light? It's a total joke. People are more interested in making excuses for it. He's the president. He can tweet about vaccines. He can tweet and say, I think America needs to be 100% open. I think that the mask mandate's unsustainable. I'm going to file a lawsuit and say that it's, medical tyranny. I'm going to challenge the system, or at least wake my supporters up to challenge the system. He's not doing anything. He's selling Bill Gates vaccines. Someone said he's either a coward or a traitor. I agree. A coward or a traitor. One of the two, because what he's doing is unacceptable. So I can't wait till January is over. The millions of Trump supporters just making excuses for this. It's pathetic. Miss Busy said, me, not a Google fan, and a couple others want to know if we can use your content if we want to make a video in good ways, not parodies. I don't know what you mean by that, but I mean, anything that you would ever get flagged for would be like YouTube or Facebook doing it, like reading and scanning my videos and then getting you. I don't really care. People copy my videos all the time. They put them on their Instagrams. I'm not I'm not a person that cares. I just want to get the message out there. So there's thousands of Instagram accounts that take my videos and post them. It's fine with me. Give me credit if you do it, but if you want to make a parody, I don't know what that means. You want to make fun of me or you want to make your own? I'm not. If you want, I don't know exactly what that means, but knock yourself out. Daniel Hayes said, no one's talking about the respiratory acidosis from CO2 from mask use and how dangerous and altered pH damage to homeostasis masks cause problems. It's so obvious. Putting it on for eight hours, cutting it's evil. It's tyrannical. It's disgusting. The fact that the president's selling vaccines and not talking about it, he's not doing enough. But people want to make excuses for him. It's the states. It's the states. You mean the states that Trump signed over all power? When Newsom took total power, when Cuomo took total power, when Murphy took total power, Trump was not fighting them. Trump was not trying to hold up the Constitution. He signed off on every single thing that they did, gave them all the money and power to do it, and gave them a thumbs up. That's what Trump did in April. He didn't challenge Cuomo. He said, Cuomo likes me. He didn't challenge Newsom. He said, Newsom likes me. He didn't challenge Murphy. He said, oh, me and Phil Murphy get along. Yeah, duh, dummy or traitor. Yeah, Phil Murphy loves you because you're giving him money and power. That's what they want, money and power. So if Donald Trump is like Zoolander, oh, I'm the best, I'm the greatest. Oh, nobody's friendly as me. It's like they're just using you, dummy. So when push came to shove, when we were locked inside like criminals, he was celebrating the fact that they agreed with him. Duh. You just gave Gavin Newsom money and power. He's like, oh, he finally complimented me. Duh. So he can enslave his people. Traitor, liar. So only in your head is he fighting. Oh, well, it's the states that Trump signed everything over and does nothing. He can tweet about John Bolton. John Bolton's really dumb. Yeah, we know. If he could tweet about John Bolton, he could tweet, open up America. He could have a plan. He has no plan. He has no plan. So people made an entire movement to hallucinate the fact that he has a plan. And they said, ooh, trust the plan. We can't handle the fact that America's collapsing. So we think it's hopeful to just hallucinate a fake plan in our heads. And then we trust the fake plan that's not really real. And then when it doesn't happen, we say disinfo is necessary. And we just make up ideas in our own head because we can't cope with reality. So when Trump says he's selling a vaccine, we say, oh no. When Trump says he's selling a vaccine, if you read it backwards, it's and then that means that he's actually fighting with Space Force and he's going to go for Bashar al-Assad again. And then Bashar al-Assad is going to fight right. It's like, no, you're just lying to yourself because you can't handle the fact that he's not doing anything. So it's like, oh, but it's only the states. And it's like, no, it's not. Bro, have you even read all 4,500 drafts? Anomaly. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't even talk to my wife and kids anymore. I've spent the last 5 years reading QAnon drops. It's like, but Q said, but Q said, but Q. Who cares what Q said? But Trump said it's not going to be mandatory. Who cares what Trump said? Anomaly, I've spent the last 4 years of my life ignoring my family to read Q jobs. I read QAnon. Anomaly, I've read them all. I've read all of them. I mean, Bill Barr, how do you not know that Jeff Sessions is a super secret agent? He's fighting the CCP. How do you not know? Q told us that in 2018. Yeah, he brainwashed you into thinking communism was a secret plan to stop communism. I'm sorry. He got holistic moms who hate vaccines to think that when Trump says vaccines, he secretly means not vaccines. They've brainwashed holistic moms to go against their own agenda. Sad. Someone said Trump isn't trying to kill the country. I don't know what he's trying to do. He is killing the country, or he's just complacent. He's assisting the people who are killing the country, giving them money, giving them funding, giving them promotion. He's doing nothing. We need a leader in the Republican Party that says, open up the country now. There's no plan to open up next year, 2022, 2023. No one's doing anything. They're giving money to the people doing that. This omnibus bill is giving them money. This is never going to end. Trump has no plan. You got to make up and hallucinate a fake plan in your head just to cope with it. It's like, what if we just pretended like everything we wanted to happen's happening? It's like, that's called mental illness. That's called, you need to see a psychiatrist. If you're like, well, I believe everything Trump says, unless he says what I don't want him to say, and then I say he said what I want him to say because I can't cope with the thing that he actually said. It's like, that's really sad. It's really scary. Live Evil said, you think politicians matter? Wake up, fool. What are you even talking about? What part of this talk inspired you to say that? It's like, man, you think politics even matters, bro? You think it even matters? It's like, what part of this hour and 21 minutes suggested that I thought that the politicians really mattered? Nothing. You just wanted to get like the snarky libertarian perspectives. You're like, I've known it didn't matter since 2002. It's like, cool. Soros, I'm sorry, someone said Daniel Hayes gave me a super chat. It says in 2015, Soros and Podesta had a tabletop exercise similar to Event 201 and Cyber Polygon. The exercise was called Food Chain Reaction, said Daniel Hayes. I'll look into that. I haven't heard of that, but very interesting. They love a good plan. Can you please update the exposed lockdown site? Yeah, I will. I'm just so torn in so many different directions, but I'm working on that. I'm working on getting more resources there. I know, I'm sorry I keep putting it off, but I'll get to it. Someone said, so the solution is to put China directly into the White House. What's your plan, Anomaly? Do you guys now know what you're doing? It's like, well, if China doesn't go into the White, guys, we're in full-blown socialism and communism right now. Just because Trump tweets about China doesn't mean he's countering China. So the country's so far sold out already. Look at the omnibus plan, guys. Look at the both-party omnibus. Only in your head is it like, ooh, Trump's fighting China. And if Trump, no. Guys, every country is just destroying America right now. What's my plan? I already told you my plan. What's your plan? Oh, Trump's going to save us from China by putting us in communism as China has pool parties in Wuhan. Ooh. Meanwhile, Trump passes anti-First Amendment speech laws for Israel, and Israel works with China. So Trump does more for Israel than he does for America, and Israel works with China. Do you get it? Both parties are controlled. There's only this illusion that Trump's secretly fighting them as he passes speech laws that makes it illegal for you to even say that it's happening. Does that sound like he's really fighting for you really hard? Lynn Wood's like, ooh, I'm going to fight the CCP. Ooh, Joe Biden tried to defund Israel. Ooh, it's like these people are just running you in circles, folks. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's all just a big show. Only in your head is he fighting China. If you don't draw a line in the sand for 8 months of communism, it's like, but Anomaly, if we don't have 8 months of communism, China will take over. This is called, the Overton window or the Hegelian dialectic, whatever you want to call it. It's like, Anomaly, the only way to fight China is by ignoring 10 months of communism and the fact that Trump got a vaccine. So he turned into a vaccine salesman. It's like, oh yeah, you're really fighting China really hard right now. I mean, God forbid Joe Biden gets in the White House. He's going to do the same thing except for 2 times worse. So you need to draw the line in the sand. At least with Biden, everyone will know. Evil is here. It's here. He's going to be the face of everything that America is. Trump is just running people in circles while helping us a little bit. Not enough. If Trump can't even stop socialism and communism and he becomes a Bill Gates salesman, it's not enough, folks. So evil is here. Evil is coming one way or the other. One way you'll realize it. The other way you'll think that you're fighting China. So you'll figure it out eventually. Lake said, thank you for pointing this stuff out. I understand the frustration. Your voice is appreciated. Thank you. Someone said, what about the Chinese professor that said that Trump is not really their ally, Biden is? There's no question Biden's going to be a total puppet. No question. But what I'm saying is like, just if Biden doesn't get in office, we're not winning against China. We're not winning against the world. Look at this omnibus bill. Our whole Congress is sold out. Our allies work with China. Our greatest ally, according to Republicans, and God bless Israelis who watch me. I love Israelis. It's not the people in Israel. It's the government, just like it is of America and the bankers and such. But, our greatest ally works with China. Trump does everything for Israel because Kushner and Dershowitz and these type of people who have dual loyalty. Trump passes laws that says you're not allowed to say that any Jewish people in America has dual loyalty. He passes anti-First Amendment speech laws to stop you from saying Israel has power because Israel controls the Republican Party, just like they have a lot of control over the Democrat Party. And they do weapons deals with China, and they do this with China, and they do that with China. So America's an open door. You don't have nationalism, you have Zionism, which means Israel first and America when you get to it. And on the left wing, you have some sort of Bolshevik communism. It's America last. It's like the left wing won't even prioritize you top 20. They're just straight up trying to kill the country. So it's like you don't have an America first movement. You don't have a nationalist movement. You have a Zionist movement. So you get what I'm saying? Is Biden a direct open door to China? For sure. Trump is a direct open door to Israel. And Israel does what they want. And they work with China. And they do deals with China. And we can't stop them because they have more influence over us than we have over them. So how are you going to fight China? How is Trump fighting China? By saying nothing about Dr. Fauci. How is Trump fighting China? By letting them shut the country down and not doing anything about it. He's pushing a vaccine by vaccine companies that have Chinese spies in them. So Trump is doing the bidding of China. He's just acting like he's not. Biden, it'll be much more obvious and probably worse, but if the better option is 8 months of communism with no plan to end it while Trump sells a Moderna mRNA vaccine like it's candy, this is not good enough, folks. I'm not saying that Biden's not working with China, but like, what part of this only in your head is this enough? Like, this is, every politician hates us. I mean, they're giving money to literally everybody. They gave you $600 and gave $135 million to Burma, $85 million to Cambodia, $1.4 million to Asia, $130 million to Nepal, $3 billion for the Afghanistan war, $700 million to Sudan, $1.3 billion to Egypt, $4 billion to Gavi Vaccine Alliance, $500 million to Israel. They give them $1 billion every year, and you can't get anything. $600. They hate you. So I'm not. Yeah, obviously Biden will be tighter with China, but Trump is not really doing anything. Sorry. Someone said we've become lazy, complacent, sheep's led to the slaughter. I think so. I think so. Someone said, someone get this man a cruise for Christmas. You can't go on a cruise. I'm not going on a mask cruise. So they killed cruises forever, probably. So I've lost my favorite thing. It's okay. Someone said saying Biden's not working with China, but saying Trump is, you're not listening to me. Biden is a puppet for everyone. Biden's an open vehicle. He's a cardboard box. But that doesn't mean Trump is getting the job done. That's all I'm saying. It's like, well, what happens if Biden gets in office? Then evil will become so blaringly obvious that you can't avoid it. And if Trump gets into office, you're going to ignore it and you're going to think that he's fighting it. Is Biden worse? Yes. But what's worse? The guy doing nothing that everyone thinks is doing something, or the guy that clearly will not do anything? Someone said Trump had done a ton for us. No, he did a good job until this year. He became a full-blown communist and, became a vaccine salesman. He's got to turn it around. He's got to. Someone says, so what can we do to fight back? Tell them it's not enough. That's all I'm saying. Like, Trump will listen, or he'll have to listen. People want to say he's Abe Lincoln when he's doing nothing. Tell him it's not good enough, and he'll do something. If you suck, up to him and say, oh my God, you're the best. You're so much better than McConnell. There's no difference between Trump and McConnell. He's just as bad as Mitch McConnell this year. So tell him. Tell the Republican Party they suck. Don't tell them they're good, because then they'll never stop. They get your tax money every year. There needs to be some sort of mass civil disobedience, and it's starting, but people think it's just McConnell. Trump is not doing anything. I'm sorry. Someone said he doesn't own the vaccine company. I'm not saying he owns the company. I know what Operation Warp Speed is. Everyone lied about it all year. Operation Warp Speed, Trump gave tens of billions of dollars to vaccine companies. He doesn't own them, but in a way, the U.S. government does own them, because when they get sued, Pfizer will not be held liable. Moderna will not be held liable. It will be the U.S. government who pays that out. So they've had indemnification for 30 years now. Does he own them? No, but he partnered with Moderna, which is Bill Gates' backed company, in January before the pandemic. He bought doses in July or August. He's been shilling for Big Pharma all year. Does he own them? No. Is he a puppet for them? Trump turned into a puppet. He was supposed to be the holistic anti-Big Pharma guy, and he's been a bigger Big Pharma puppet than anyone I've ever seen. Major letdown. So I think he needs to hear that. If you tell him he's Abe Lincoln, he thinks he's the greatest president ever. He's not really done that much this year. I'm sorry. Deborah said, glad to see you're now aware. We are Legion. Well, God bless you. Let me see. Hold on. Sorry. Do I know that for a fact? I don't know what you're talking about. Wait, do I know that for a fact? Do I know what for a fact? I don't know which one you're talking about. Do I know that he bought Big Pharma? Yes, I know all this stuff. And I've showed people. I don't just tell you. Look it up. Trump supporters all year, to me, they said, Anomaly, you don't understand what Operation Warp Speed is. It's a super secret plan. No, it's not. I know it a fact. I tell you the facts about Operation Warp Speed, but when a fact comes in where you don't want to believe that Trump's doing it, people just ignore them and just say, oh, no, it's got to be a 5D plan. It's not. Someone said Pfizer has a lab in Wuhan and they share scientists with the CCP. Yeah, Trump is not fighting China. There's a report recently that said all these vaccine companies had Chinese agents in them, and Trump is a shill for them. He might as well shill for China. He's just pretending to fight China. I'm fighting China by locking our country down. I'm fighting China by being a big puppet for Pfizer and Moderna. I'm fighting China, but I'm not blocking any Chinese imports. I'm fighting China, but there's a 50-state airline mask mandate where millions of Americans are forced or get arrested, even in red states, with that. How is he fighting China? It's like a WWE. He's doing the bidding of China in a slightly less way than Biden is. If you want to fight China, open the country up, figure out how to become more sustainable and block their imports. And if they're really making us sick, stop forcing everybody to wear Chinese masks. If he's not doing that, it's a big show. It's like WWE. He's just fake fighting China. Is Biden worse? Duh. But is Trump saving the world from the CCP? No. Regina said, shut up. You're on my Facebook, Regina. You could just click the X button and I disappear. It's that simple. I don't even know who you are. And you're here yelling at me on my own stream. Just click the X. I'm gone. Gone. That's all you have to do, Regina. I get it. Go follow someone that tells you Trump is fighting China. Trump is now a puppet for Big Pharma, a puppet for Israel, and Israel works with China. So he's just an open door for everyone to do whatever they want. He just tweets about it. I thought he was doing more. He was doing a good job. He was jabbing China, trade tariffs, and then he got knocked out by China. They knocked him out and changed him. It's like he was jabbing China, Hong Kong protests, You know, little moves. And then China said, boom, Wuhan flu, boom, lockdown, boom. And then Trump got up after he got knocked out by China and said, oh, I'm going to be a vaccine salesman now. I'm going to sell Pfizer, even though they have labs in China. I'm going to, I'm going to sell Pfizer and Moderna. I'm going to do the bidding of Bill Gates. So it's like he got knocked out by China, and now he just turned into China, and he just yells, China, China, China. And everyone's like, oh, he's fighting China. It's like, no, he's not. Someone said, what did Trump do for Hong Kong? No, I personally think the U.S. government was trying to get involved in Chinese affairs with Hong Kong. You had anytime Pompeo and Trump tweet about something, it means they're doing something. So in general, in Hong Kong, I think America tried to get involved and China got pissed off. This is just my perspective. I can't prove this, but I think with the trade tariffs, the straw that broke the camel's back, to me, what I think personally, is I think Trump was trying to be sneaky and Pompeo was trying to be sneaky in Hong Kong. And I think China was pissed. And I think China knocked them out. And I think they've just turned into Chinese salesmen. So, whatever. So this person's name is FBI volunteer agent, LOL. Louisiana state with most federal corruption, evidence of corruption. There's a link. Yeah, I can't click on that live stream, but someone said, how is Israel working for China? Well, Israel's working for Israel. I'm just saying America and China are at odds, and Israel and China are doing fine. So I'll just read a few. I'm going to just Google it real quick. This is military.com report. Israel passes U.S. military technology to China. This is from 2013. Secret U.S. missile and electro-optics technology was transferred to China recently by Israel, prompting anger from U.S. And causing a senior Israeli defense official to resign. So in 2013, military.com reported that Israel passed U.S. technology to China. Israel can do whatever they want. They control United States politicians, so it doesn't really matter what they do because they just completely dominate America. Here's 1993. Israel sells arms to China, U.S. says. This is from an old New York Times article. So they did it back then too. Let me see. It says Israel has sold advanced military technology to China for more than a decade and is moving to expand its cooperation with Beijing. So there's that. Israel, China relationship. Let's see some newer stuff. I mean, you could just Google it this year too. I don't have time to get into all that now, but they're doing deals all the time with China. They've been selling our military stuff to China for a while, but the one thing that Trump doesn't want you to say, with Kushner and Dershowitz by his side, he doesn't want you to say that there's any such thing as dual loyalty. He doesn't want you to talk bad about Israel. Do you know why? Because they have them by the balls. They have the whole country by the balls. That's why you're not allowed to talk about banking or media or notice statistics. You could talk about crime statistics on the right wing. They'll let you talk about black crime statistics and be like, whoa, PragerU, you're so edgy. Whoa, you talked about black crime statistics? Dang, that's edgy. But if you talk about, different percentages in a different community, they'll call you an anti-Semite. So, the AIPAC, American Israeli Political Action Committee, it's a whole foreign lobby group. They dominate U.S. politics. Russia can't do that. China can't do that. No one else can do that, but they can do that because it's just known that America and Israel are conjoined at the hip. So if Israel sells weapons to China, that's fine because they're our greatest ally. I mean, nothing says great ally like selling your weapon technology to the people who hate you. But we can't do anything about it because that's just the way the country works. We'll fight any war and we'll do anything. But if you mention it, you're an anti-Semite. But if you talk about China, you're not anti-Chinese. You're edgy. You'll get retweets by Republicans. So, there's only some things you can and can't talk about. It's not allowed. Let's calm down. That's a good question. Someone said, If you had to guess what life will be like 1 year from now in America, what's your guess? Well, I like to be optimistic, so I don't want to think worse than now, but everything is leading towards either we the people do something or it's a wrap. So that's really where I'm at. I'm focused on the we the people aspect because, yeah, I don't know. At this rate, it's hard to get your freedom back. It's hard to think what it'll be like, but I have to be optimistic. I can't be pessimistic. It can't happen. Someone said you should support Ilhan Omar and AOC. They hate Israel too. Well, first of all, I don't like Ilhan Omar or AOC. Second of all, I don't hate Israel. This is a straw man argument. Anytime you talk anything about, you have hypocrites on the right wing. You could talk about Muslims, you could talk about Saudi Arabia, you could talk about America, you could talk about white people, you could talk about black people. But if you mention Israel and you don't say anything but give them our money, let them sell weapons to China, people say you hate Israel. I don't hate Israel. I actually like Israelis a lot. I find Israelis to be very cool, the ones that I know. There's no hate at all. I can criticize the US government, but if I criticize the Israeli government or I tell the truth about them in a nice manner, I hate Israel. That's just a straw man argument because I think right wingers have been programmed to just send their kids off to the war to die for Israel and just give away billions of dollars and not question it and say that they're our greatest allies, and any sort of scrutiny about what they're doing is considered an anti-Semitic offense. Trust me, I know. Because anytime I go on right-wing podcasts and mention it, they'll just cut the podcast. They'll edit my speech. I know how it works. They're not really free speech. T. West said, I prefer Don over Joe, but to see people make excuses for Trump when you explain facts about his shortcomings is sad. We can't stay blind to his errors. Well, the thing is, it's not a small error. If I'm just nitpicking Trump, people are acting like I'm nitpicking. Guys, I'm talking about 8 months of communism, okay? I'm talking about 9 months of just government shutdowns. This is not a small thing. They're gutting our country. We can't afford to do this for another month. So it's not like a little thing I'm talking about. It's huge. And if you want to be honest, when it comes to Israel's government and how they lobby in America, most Israelis have nothing to do with it. So to say I hate them is a lie. They're getting locked down and abused just like America is. The people in Israel who have no power are the same as Americans with no power. So when I criticize Biden, you don't say I hate America. When I criticize Trump, you don't say I hate America. When I criticize our culture, you don't say I hate America. But if I tell the truth kindly about Israel, I hate Israel, that's just the fake Republican straw man argument because they've been conditioned to not question and not say anything about it. So that's your shortcoming. That's why you fail, is because that's really what's happening. And if you can't talk about it and you don't see it, this is why the right wing is spiraling towards communism, because they're like, ooh, we're fighting the CCP. No, you're not. Ooh, we're not puppets. Well, you don't even know how politics really works. It's fine, but it's not gonna lead you towards capitalism. That's for sure. Citizen Soldier said 318 cops DOJ server, 891 down, Shreveport call. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but thanks for the super chat. I like your lights. Well, they're my friends, but thank you. Someone said Hunter's hiding out in Anomaly's apartment. It's funny, but it's like, oh, if you don't only just talk about China, I'm not saying China is not responsible for a lot of stuff. What I'm saying is the people who talk about China don't do anything about them. They're just talking. It's just a joke. It's like, that's all I'm saying. Someone said, if you want to know who rules you, just ask who you can't question. I agree in some form. Daniel Hayes said, sorry for blowing up your super chats. I mean, if you're giving me money, you don't have to apologize. I understand you can't read them all. Me and my wife, Lane, miss you. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Daniel. Merry Christmas to you and Lane. I appreciate you guys. Someone said, God is testing our faith. Wake up, wake up. I agree. Someone said, don't assume Q's gender. Thank you. You're so right. I apologize. That's very rude. It could be a she. She anon. Trust the shh. Trust the shh. Someone said both parties sold us out to China. It's not just China, though. I mean, you can't talk about this or else they'll say you're racist. But the real scheme going on, it's very deep. There's secret societies and such. But a lot of a lot of what's happening is a two-party system that's serving a different master, and China's not even the half of it. If you want to just say China, I'm not going to stop you. But when we established a bank, I'm going to read the quote. It's one of my favorite quotes, not because I like it, but because it's very revealing. Lenin, who was a very big communist, Lenin said, I'm going to read it, the establishment of a central bank is 90% of communizing a nation. So once you have a central bank, Lenin believed you're 90% to becoming a communist. Karl Marx wanted the centralization of money. In 1918, or around that time, I forget the exact date, we established a central bank. Our banks are controlled. Who controls the banks? I mean, you can't say because they'll call it a hate speech offense, but in general, as soon as our banks were controlled, you had control over our country. I like Israelis, but if you look at the Rothschild family, who's one of the most famous banking families in history, you can't talk about it because they'll call you an anti-Semite. But how did Israel come to be in the modern era? It was a Rothschild endeavor. They signed the Balfour Declaration and they gave it over to Lord Rothschild. So Israel, by default, because of banking and because it was really reclaimed by a banker, is one of the hubs of power, and they completely dominate America. So on the left wing, you have the Bolsheviks. In my opinion, they're just like the communists and the socialists of the 1900s. They slaughtered millions of people in Russia. They were destroying Europe. They're America last. They don't care about you at all. I think the left wing hates you, and I think everybody knows they hate you. That's why they lean right wing, because it's a no-brainer. It's like, why would you be on the side of the people who hate you? So you have the Bolsheviks on the left, and people think it's like the anti-China party on the right wing. Like, ooh, we're the nationalist anti-China party. We're fighting communism. Not really, because the right wing is the Zionist party. And the Zionist party prioritizes Israel over America. And by default, they do whatever the bankers want. They do whatever Israel wants all the time. And, that's going to lead you to the same place that the Bolsheviks are going to lead you, just on a slower path. But this year, it's on a faster path. So you don't have a true nationalist party. This country has been on its way to communism for 100 years now, and now you're seeing the fast decline. And as soon as it declines, where is Trump? Selling vaccines. Why? I don't know why. And when I bring up Israel, I'm not trying to be rude, but when you're a country that was, reclaimed by a banker, and we are dominated by bankers, there is a connection there. That's why they pass speech laws to prevent you from saying it. It's not because it's not real, it's because it's true, and they just don't want you to notice the pattern. So that's just what's going on. And when your greatest ally is selling your weapons to China, you're not really fighting China. So the Republicans won't talk about that. They pass speech bills to talk about it. It's a fake fight. It's like people who are sold out to China and other countries are telling you that they're fighting China, and you believe them because there's very few people like me. People like me usually get banned, or people like me usually get blacklisted, but I'm too smooth. They can't stop me. I mean, they probably can, but in general, it's like, they don't ban me from events because I'm a nice guy. I don't say this in an angry way. And some people do hate Israel, and some people do hate Israelis, and they have bad attitudes. I don't have a bad attitude. I like Israelis. I have no problem with a country that leaves me alone. The problem is our politicians serve that country before they serve us, and it affects my life greatly. And, that's why I care, just like I would care if it was China or anyone, and it is China. So I talk about them as well. So, it's like you're never going to fight China if you don't realize the true dynamic of what's going on. And the true dynamic of what's going on is, that. Someone said, if Newsom is recalled, will you run? You have a real chance in the world of 2021. No, I don't want to be in politics, but I'll support a good candidate. John Batts said, thanks, Anomaly, for everything you do. I was 100% about everyone who I was 100% about everyone who went on and let me down. You have not. We will fail as a country if we don't individually rise. God bless you. Thank you so much. Here, I'm going to read some more super chats. MP has a super chat. He said the Bolsheviks were started by powerful Jewish people and supported by Israel. Communist China is, of course, controlled by Israel. Thanks for the super chat. No, I mean, there's a reason that they pass all these laws. And if I talk about the CCP or Chinese influence, they don't say I'm anti-Chinese. If I talk about black crime, right-wingers, left-wingers will call me racist. Right-wingers won't, if you notice the statistics. But when it comes to Karl Marx, the founder of communism, Lenin, and even the Bolsheviks in Russia, no, it's heavily Jewish. There's actually a video that you probably won't be able to find. But there's a video of, Putin talking to a bunch of like Hasidic Jews and saying, 70 to 80% of the Communist Party was Jewish. And he's like, I'm glad we got rid of the communism because it was bad for everybody, Christians, Muslims, Jews, whatever. But yeah, it was heavily Jewish. That's why they won't let you talk about the Jewish influence, because it's obvious. Is that to blame everybody? No, but it's the same thing with crime rates. If you have 12% of the population committing 50% of the murders, it's interesting to say the least. We could talk about why that's happening systemically, financially, culturally. What's going on? Let's figure it out, because 12% committing 50% of murders is not good. So it's worth a chat, because you want to figure out why it's happening, even if you're being nice about it. So if you're 2% of the population and you control over 50% of the media, which is way more than the black crime rate, as far as trends, all those trends are obvious, but the right wing will not let you talk about them, because that's where they get their money. That's where they get their funding. Trump's biggest donor, Sheldon Adelson. Sheldon Adelson is a casino mogul, and he loves Israel, perhaps more than America. So they passed speech laws to say you can't say he loves Israel more than America. So that's the biggest donor on the right wing, is Sheldon Adelson, a Jewish American who loves Israel just as much, if not more, than America. And then on the left wing, you have Soros, and 50% of their money comes from Jewish donors. It's just a fact. Look it up. Hillary got 50% of her money from Jewish donors. So you can't say that, or they'll call you anti-Semitic. But it's the same people that would call you an anti-Semite for noticing that will not call you racist for talking about black crime statistics or anything. You can make fun of white people. You can do this. No one cares on the right wing. But if you go near there, they'll get pissed. But at the same time, it is interesting. It's worth the chat. And also, when it comes to communism and the influence, there's a big plan going on, way bigger than, things that we talk about. Even China, like, yes, China's a big player. Israel's a big player. America's a big player. Saudi Arabia is a big player. But even deeper than that, yeah, it's banking, it's bloodlines, it's, religious interpretations of what they're trying to do. It's social engineering plans. There's people like, the Bill Gateses and Ted Turners who think that the population's too big. There's people like the Georgia Guidestones that want to lower the population to 500 million, 800 million. These things are real. They're really happening at the scene. So, the people who are operating, they're operating on a high level, but the deeper you go, the less they really want you to talk about it. Someone said Klaus Schwab. Yeah, very sneaky guy, no question. So it is what it is. Someone said Anomaly's not getting banned right now because his message hurts Trump. That's not true at all. First of all, I want to say this to anybody that loves Trump and who's mad at what I'm saying right now. I've helped Trump more than most people. I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you, I helped Candace Owens get from, 100,000 views to 26 million views. She's even given me, God bless Candace, she's given me a signed copy of her new book, and she wrote that in it. She said, thank you so much for blowing up my first video. Candace has helped Trump more than a lot of people. I helped Brandon Straka with the walkaway movement get there. He's registered a lot of people. I've gotten hundreds of millions of views pro-Trump. I've probably converted millions of people from left to right. I've perhaps helped Trump more than most influencers have. So I've helped him, and I got censored for helping him. I got censored for telling the truth about coronavirus. The reason I don't get censored is because I have gotten censored, so it's not even true, but I'm pretty smooth. So I don't lie. Some people are like, some of the Q accounts, they're just not smooth. They'll say anything at any time. And, 80% of the time they're right. 20% of the time they're wrong. Some people get sued because they lie. I don't lie. When they censor me, they're really picking at straws. I'm not hateful. I'm not mean. So it's very hard for them to censor me, although they can do it, because I'm not really doing anything wrong. So I think it probably comes from my demeanor and the fact that when I do these videos, I show you the articles. It's like I get banned for sharing Reuters. I don't even share Breitbart because I know how they operate. So they're not censoring me because I'm hurting Trump. I've helped Trump more than most people have. There's just not really that much they can do. And eventually they'll try to do it anyway. Someone said you were one of the first ones that showed support for Trump. I appreciate it. It's like, I'm just saying for the record, my videos have helped Trump a lot, but I've also helped some of the biggest influencers that help Trump, let them get from 0 to 100 or help them build an audience, and get their message out to tens of millions of people. So you're just wrong. It's fine. Someone said number 318 Shreveport, Louisiana. Please relay evidence to law enforcement. LSU patient tortured by police staff, media controllers paid by LSU mayor, blockers, outcry, sheriff's department, citizen soldier. I can't understand what you're saying, but people can see your super chat. If you know what he's talking about, you could look into it. I don't know what I could do about the LSU situation, but you could see his super chat. Someone said they want us to be hateful. Absolutely. And that's one thing I differ from. There's people who say similar things, but there are a lot of people who are really hateful. I think at the end of the day, no matter who you're talking about, you have to have some level of humanity where it's like you don't want to hate people. And, I think 99% of people have nothing to do with the big scheme as far as like on a high level. So if you blindly just hate a group of people, like people are like, you hate Israel? I don't hate Israel. I don't hate Israelis. I think I actually feel bad for Israelis because they're getting locked down. I think that's gross. So it's like, just because I talk about their government or their foreign policy or our government doesn't mean you hate somebody. So I think they do want us to hate each other. And I think that, being that hateful is just, it's not only not healthy, but it's not honest, because it's like anger built up and then you just start lashing out. And then, you just become exactly what you're trying to fight, and I think that's true in a lot of cases. But I understand why people are pissed off. I understand. I get pissed off at the lockdown, but as far as, blaming other people or hating other people, I try not to. What do I think about Kamala Harris? She's awful. What's there really to think? What about you and Days of Noah getting together? I don't know who Days of Noah is, but I'll check it out. All right, I want to keep this under 2 hours, so let's go a minute or 2 minutes. Two more minutes. God bless you guys. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. I'm keeping this under 2 hours, so I'm going to end it within 2 minutes. We'll end on a good note. Let me see. Someone said I'm liking Tulsi Gabbard. I told people years ago, I always liked Tulsi because she's really good on foreign policy in the sense of she really told the truth about the Syrian war. What America and our allies were doing in Syria was very evil. We were funding rebel groups, we were funding terrorists, and we were trying to overthrow Bashar al-Assad. And they told you that they were helping Christians when in reality, Christians were getting killed and displaced. Tulsi always told the truth about that. I think she's leaving Congress. So as she's leaving, she's got a soul. She's doing all sorts of good bills because I think she's on her way out. I don't think she's really a Democrat, to be honest. I think she played the game, got to a pretty high level, and I've always got good vibes from her. So, I mean, she's going in overdrive, doing all sorts of good stuff this month. I think she's just like on her way out. So she's like, F you guys. I don't care. I don't need your money. I don't need your party. I'm out. I think she's retiring from politics. Hopefully, I've met her. I got a picture with her. I met her in Hawaii at one of her events and stuff. She was nice. But someone said she's Illuminati. She got to a very high level. I think she's on like the CFR or whatever. But I've always got good vibes from her. I don't know. Look at the bills she's passing and supporting. She's pretty cool. I mean, as far as politicians go, you can't be perfect, and some of them are sneaky, but I like what she's doing. Someone said she's I mean, you guys are being mean, but whatever. You don't have to like her. I'm not co-signing everything she does. I just think she's doing a better job than most. All right, let's end on a good note. Merry Christmas, guys. Happy New Year. All right, Rand Paul. All right, let's get a good. Someone said, thank you for speaking your mind. Well, here's the thing. We'll end on this note. I think Trump did a pretty good job the first 3 years. I would go above pretty good. I would say phenomenal considering all the pressure. Top A+, at least A minus the worst, A+. He killed it the first 3 years. This year sucked. I just can't pretend like this year didn't suck because it does kind of suck. So he needs to be the leader of the free world. If he's incapable, and I don't know what the deal is, I just think he needs to be challenged, and no one's really challenging him. So I think he's somebody who listens. I think he's a tough guy. Like, you think I'm hurting his feelings? He's Trump. You think he cares what I say? You can challenge him a little bit because communism, socialism, lockdowns are unacceptable. And it's not just America. It's like they're enslaving the whole world. So these politicians, I think, need to be challenged. And we need to demand, like, hey, your legacy's on the line. If you go out the door selling this vaccine and not really doing that much, it's not a good legacy. And trust me, they're going to blame Trump for everything that happens with these things because he championed them. But it's like, if he can do something for us, I think that would be huge. And I think he still can. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But I think there's no reason to not challenge him. If he agrees with you, he agrees. But we can't have another year of this type of lockdown stuff. It's inexcusable, and it's not like a small thing. It's so big that it's setting us on a course of disaster. So we'll get on the right path. Merry Christmas. If I don't see you guys again, I have cameo.com/dreamrare. I'll do them all before Christmas. If you're a bad person, no, I'm just kidding. If you're like me, and you're late on your Christmas gifts, then that's what it is. All right. See you guys. Cameo.com/dreamrare. Get a late Christmas gift if you failed on getting an early one. All right. Merry Christmas.